Hi, this is Dr. Frank Chopatini, head advisor for the Church of Rational Truth. Just making this video as a brief introduction about the church, what we stand for. Basically, the Church of Rational Truth, or rationalism, sees things a little bit differently in terms of religion and morality. We look at things in terms of truth. We look at things in terms of rational thinking and being logical. We think that most things, like big questions, can't be answered by just faith alone. We think that you should be able to think, reason, and ration out the answers to big questions, or you should actually search for answers in terms of things that can be found rationally, or things that can be actually proven, seen, have hard evidence for. We don't believe in faith. We don't believe that someone should just believe something because they believe it. We think that you should actually be able to prove, be able to show over and over again that a belief actually does exist and is based in truth. We think faith is the lowest form of evidence, or the exact opposite of evidence. Faith is the belief in something just because, or faith is the belief in something without proof. And we really don't focus on that. If anything, that is exactly the opposite of what you want to do with something. Truth exists because you can prove it. Truth exists because it is true for everyone, not just true for some people or some of the time. So we really believe that you shouldn't have faith in something. We believe that you should actually believe in something because you can actually prove it and recreate it, and therefore it should be true for everybody. We are non-denominational. We don't really pick and choose one type of religion. If anything, we look at all of the religions. We kind of look at different viewpoints of what some of the big pictures are, and we usually want people to more learn how to analyze these things, how to pick out the parts that they think have some truth to them, and be able to actually use logic and reasoning to see what is possibly true, what is possibly not true, and then be able to shape their beliefs, or use that to then look further for the truth. We don't try to push this is what is true. We usually say, if it is true, everyone will be able to come to that same conclusion by using good logic and reasoning, and actually being able to show those facts for everyone to see. We do have a big base in science. We have a big base in what can be proven, what people can do. We want people to become educated. We want people to be able to look at things themselves. We want our user base to know what is going on, be able to reason themselves, and we don't want people, like in some religions, to just blindly follow what you're told. We think you should be skeptical and you should be demanding proof in the things that you've seen or the things that you're being told. One approach we have that's different in terms of morality is very different than other religions or other churches. Most other religions and churches will just tell you, these are our doctrines. These are the 5 points of never do this, always do this. We look at morality in much more of an open or loose framework. We believe morality is very relative. So it's really hard to make very clear-cut rules and opinions on things, and we'd rather have people be able to analyze the specific situation and look for the most net good done, or what is the net good or net bad done in the situation, to be able to determine if a certain action is or is not moral in the situation itself. One great example of that is thou shalt not kill. Very huge. Many religions, Abrahamic religions, obviously they say don't kill people. Well, yeah, you follow that. Most people agree that that is not a good thing to kill people. But there are situations like war or corporal punishment where people do get killed, and that's being done in those situations. So is that necessarily moral? If someone is going to kill you, should you kill that person back? Is that moral? Well, if you just follow that hard rule of you should not kill, you wouldn't be going to war, you wouldn't be doing corporal punishment, you wouldn't kill someone to save yourself. So is that something that in all situations is going to be accurate, or should you look at it more in a situation by situation basis and determine, is this a situation where killing is no longer immoral in this position? That's how we like to see all of morality, is more of an open discussion, and I would say a more rational view of it, of, hey, in this specific situation, is this actually good or is this bad? Who is being hurt in this situation? And if no one's being hurt, is there benefit here, or is this good, or does this benefit all people? So we like to talk about net good. We like to talk about who is injured, who is hurt, who is benefiting from it. Is someone unjustly benefiting from something? And we like to look at things at very case by case basis, because small details can change a lot about morality, and we think it's very hard to just make overarching opinions on everything when really a lot of things can change based on the details. The structure of our church is also very different. We don't uh, do things quite the same. We have followers who are usually people who just kind of watch us, follow us, have similar beliefs, who are not really active members, and then we have a next level up of activity, which is actual membership in the church. Membership usually comes with a monthly donation, and that gives you access to more church activities, more church property, and actually gives you active involvement in the church. So one of the big things that membership gives you is a monthly vote in what the church funds go towards. Basically, we are funded by an endowment. All the donations that we get in go towards the endowment. Those are invested permanently in securities that give dividends every month. Those dividends are then used to fund the church. So those are used to do whatever we want to do, usually things that go along with our tenets and our beliefs. So we use those to help reduce suffering. We use those to help further the advancement of our knowledge of truth. So we can, fund studies. We can go to help relieve suffering. We can go to, improve the lives of our church members with those dividends that are coming back. And basically, what the members will do is they will be able to say, propose a couple of things that they think would be appropriate to do with those funds. Basically, advisors who are the next level up, they would take those and say, look, these are the 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or however many that we think we can do with the budget. We're going to put those on for all the members to vote on. Every member gets a vote, and then that vote gets basically broken down to that dollar amount that'd be equal to the number of votes. So let's say we had $1,000 in and 10 members. Each member's vote would be equal to $100 worth of that budget, and the money would go towards whatever thing they voted for directly. So it's not like most voting systems where it's, first past 51% it gets voted for. This is any number of people could vote for something. So let's say we wanted to get a new book for the church library. So let's say we want to get an old version of Encyclopedia Britannica for $100. We put that on, someone votes for it, their money goes towards it, and if it gets the amount of money needed to purchase that thing gets purchased. You don't need to necessarily get everybody in the church to go along with it. You only need to get enough to actually pay for that thing, and then it gets paid for. What's nice about this is we don't have to have a majority rule system. We can actually look at diverse needs, we can look at diverse problems, and we can hopefully solve multiple of those at a time. We don't have to get everybody involved in one thing, and we can work in multiple directions at the same time, sometimes very different directions, because we can start just divvying up those funds based on what we think they should go for. And the other thing is, you don't need full support. You just need enough support to pay for it. And your vote goes towards what you believe in, what you want the church to move in that direction. And this way, the church can work in many different directions according to what followers want or what members want in relation to their vote. So your vote still matters, even if you have a minority opinion. If you are the one person who wants, a new set of ping pong balls, but you're really adamant about it, well, your vote can keep going towards that as long as the advisors are willing to put that on the list of things that the funds can go towards. Obviously, you'd need a reason. You'd want the thing that you're proposing for us to spend funds to go along with our tenets, to go along with our beliefs, to further truth, decrease human suffering. And as long as it checks all those boxes, and that there's not big things we look for, conflicts of interests. You can't fund, let's say you want to fund a study, but you're also the person who's being funded by that study. We would see that probably as a conflict of interest. We probably wouldn't put that proposal on. So basically, the system goes: if you're a member, you can propose things for the church to put that money towards. The advisors will make a short list of this month. This is where we're going to allow voting, or we'll vote, and these are the things that you can vote for. If they get enough funds, it'll either be paid for. The church will use the church funds for it, or it will either carry over to the next month. Or if, let's say, something is a fill or kill, or like it has to get the full amount, or it's dropped, the money will probably get reinvested, go back to the fund, and then next month more dividends will come in to go towards the next vote. The good thing about this is once the money is in the endowment from donations, it is permanently going to be helping members. It is not something that goes into somebody's pocket. It is something that is always going to every month pay out a little bit to help us fund activities. The other good thing is that won't get depleted. That won't get ruined with time. Someone who can't mismanage it. It is you buy something, that thing you will always hold. The church is never going to hopefully sell any of its assets. It is you buy a security, it always pays out dividends, and as long as that security still exists and still pays out dividends, we still have a source of income. The downside is it's a lot slower. So instead of getting a $100 donation and being able to immediately put that $100 towards something, our $100 donation is only going to end up giving like 30 to 50 cents every month towards something. So it's a little bit slower when it gets started off. But once it gets started, it's going to be a lot more powerful than that $100 donation, because the $100 donation would only do good once, versus it going towards the endowment will hopefully continue to do good for lifetimes. I mean, that's what we're looking for. Is we're looking for good to be done forever with these donations, not just a one-time beautiful. We fixed your porch. We did something good. We want this to always be doing good or always be funding good things. This way, the church never runs into a problem with a lack of funding, or let's say the economy goes poorly and we stop getting donations in. Well, that wouldn't be a problem because we should still have those investment income dividends coming in every month to help pay for good or pay for the activities that we need them to be done. So that's the general structure of the church. I'm going to talk briefly about the finances. Now, obviously, there's not a huge amount in the endowment since the church is still starting off. But as of April 1st, we had a total of $1,049 come in for donations in the month of March. Most of those donations went towards funding the website, but the vast majority of them went towards government filings and paperwork. It was $653 went towards all the paperwork for filing for a church, to making a 501c3 organization, which probably should mention we are a 501c3, so the money does count as a charitable donation. It is tax deductible, so that is a nice addition to the donation. The vast majority of that money went towards that, so we had a total expense of $661, so that left us with a net income of $388. That month, we used that income to purchase $381.25 worth of equities, or at least that was their value at the end of the month. They might have cost less than that when we were purchasing them. And the cash at the end of the month was $11.67. So the prior total assets were $0. The current total assets for the church as of April 1st were $392.92, with of that $11.67 was cash. We have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different equities. Most of them are either real estate investment trusts, bonds, or high interest bearing ETFs. So the goal with those are to get somewhere between 5 and 10% return on investment every year, and they basically just every one of them gives a monthly dividend. If you want, there is always going to be a link to the finances for every month. That is on our website, churchofrationaltruth.com. That way you can look, you can see what all the equities are. You could look at them yourself and say, oh, yeah, that's a good one, that's a bad one. If you're a member or even not a member, you can say, hey, why didn't you think about buying such and such? Right now, because we are small and we don't want a lot of variability, we're mostly getting ETFs, things that are a lot less volatile. As we grow, we might purchase more into individual stocks that are dividend heavy, but those are going to have a lot more variation. They're also going to be not as not as even with how the dividends are going to come out. And seeing as we're just small and not having a lot of money to start off, we don't want things to be really irregular. And single companies usually give, quarterly, sometimes only yearly dividends. And we don't want to be like, well, this month we have a whole lot of money. Next month, good luck, we're going to have almost nothing to deal with. The way we usually will do things is the first Sunday or the first week of every month, we'll kind of go over the finances for next month. We'll open up for any suggestions on what we should do or what we should propose for the dividend income to go towards. Then basically the second week of the month, we'll be able to list the things that we're going to propose that the money go towards. And then, second and third week, we'll open up voting for it. And then we'll talk about, what actually did pass. What are we going to put the money towards? And then we put the money towards it. And then we repeat every month. So every month there'll be new things to vote towards. We'll talk about goals of the church, and we'll slowly move towards those goals, whether it will be big picture things like getting an actual physical library set up, or if it's going to be more generic things like funding studies towards regenerative medicine or things to reduce human suffering or aid projects. But basically, it'll just fluctuate with what the members and the fellows want. And what we think we can probably do the most good with. And that's kind of always our goal is, hey, what can we do really the most good with these funds? And then hopefully move towards those goals. That is just a quick breakdown. We'll probably every week pick one or two topics to talk about, whether they're based on morality, whether they're based on more difficult subjects like death, birth, afterlife. What we'll probably do is do a combination of things that are more based on science, some that are more based on philosophy, some that are more based on specific religions, ideologies, where we'll go over maybe Christian ideologies, Sikh ideologies, Jewish ideologies, Taoist ideologies, because we really think that everybody should be able to analyze them. We should be able to look at them. We should be able to see what knowledge can we gain, what truth can we gain from them, and also on the other side, what things do we think are lacking in them? What do we think are missing evidence? What do we think is actually not proven at all? Or what do you think is just purely faith-based with actual no hard evidence behind it? The goal of that is to open discussion, hear different opinions, and be able to interpret them and to be able to go back and forth and really understand them and not just blindly follow any specific thing. And we will do the same for religion as we will do with science, because we believe everything should be questioned. Everything should have data and proof behind it, science and religion. You can't follow a scientific fact based on just blind faith. You should question it. You should say, what is the data behind that? Why does this make logical sense? Can we recreate this? Just same with religious ideologies and doctrines. Can we prove this? Can we prove this feat happened? Can we prove that this is actually real or not real, that this has an impact, that this thing is true? And that's really the gist of the church is we want to find what is true, what is reality. And the way we believe we can do that is through rational thought, logic, and reasoning. So if anybody does have any questions, comments, or anything they want to see us talk about, any topics, please let us know. Leave a message on the video. We have a Discord that is up, so you can join the Discord. We'll probably put a link to it below. And we have a website, Church of Rational Truth. We have a Facebook group. We'll probably even at some point make a subreddit. Lots of different social ways to get out and interact with one another. Once COVID starts dying down, hopefully we'll maybe even have some in-person visits or weekly meetings so that people can actually meet one another, talk and converse about what's going on. So that's basically it for this week. If there are any things or any feedback, please let us know. I'll be happy to hear from you. And I hope you all have great day, great weekend. This is Dr. Frank Ciopatini again signing off for the Church of Rational Truth. And please let us know if you do have any questions, comments, or if you even do want to join the church or have questions about it or questions about membership. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.